Hello everyone, this is Tony. Welcome back to Trophy Food Experiences. I'm doing this video for two reasons. One, I want to put a face to my channel. I don't do these videos where I'm on camera that often, but I'm almost nearing 1,000 subscribers, so I want to thank my viewers and subscribers for letting me grow this channel and staying with me. I know sometimes I can be boring. I know the pictures can be a little bit not very exciting, but I'll try to do more videos. And the reason being is that I try not to do videos in restaurants. There's a couple of reasons. One, I'm a really small-time YouTuber and I kind of feel a little bit ridiculous taking up people's time and disturbing service. Two, it is disturbing to staff and other people that you eat with if you're always taking pictures, stopping them, don't touch the food, do videos, things like that. And three, it does affect the service that you get, in my experience, when you're taping, when you're doing audio, things like that. And it could be good or bad, but it does change the service. And generally speaking, I will not be filming in a restaurant until I've already experienced good service and I'm very happy with the restaurant. At that point, I may pull out my camera and do a live video because I know I've already made up my mind and it's not going to affect the service anymore. Likewise, if there are restaurants that I've already reviewed and I'm familiar with, or feel more comfortable to bring out my camera, because in my experience, that does change the level of spirit service, and I don't want that. That's not the point in these things. That hopefully my videos or my experience is going to be something else that every other person that goes into a restaurant experiences. When I go into restaurants, it's unannounced. I just, like a regular person, I just pay for my own meals. I never tell them anything afterwards. I never tell them I actually video. I never tell them I have a YouTube video. I never tell them anything about this. I never tell them I'm a writer for Richmond News. And so for me, I try to make it as much as possible your experience. And likewise, I've taken the same approach with my pictures, although probably I'll change that. All my pictures are not filtered. They're just from my regular camera. They're just snapshots. There haven't been improved lighting. Now I know that's kind of boring, so I think what I will do in the future for at least some of these pictures, that I will filter them, put them in better light. I think I've built up some credence with my subscribers that I'm pretty authentic with what the food is and how it presents. I think I can have a little bit more creative and artistic leeway and make the pictures and videos a bit better, even though that I will let people know that I have filtered them to make them look a little bit better or more palatable for YouTube and Instagram. But that's not the real reason I'm doing this video. I'm actually doing this video because I'm going to Milan and I wanted to try some of their foods, but I thought it's really important before you go to actually get a little bit more information. I have a big interest in food and wine, but also the history of it. I think it's so interesting to kind of learn a little bit about the culture and things like that. So today I'm going to talk about two dishes that are very popular in Milan. One is Coteletta and one is risotto, and it's fairly specific in Milan. And you don't really see it very much in Vancouver. There's not many kind of Milanese restaurants. So it's kind of an interesting take on things. And so when I go out to Milan, I'm going to try and do some videos and shorts to show different places that I'm having this. And then hopefully when I get back to Vancouver, I'm going to find some places that serve these type of dishes and compare and contrast. So let's talk about Cotoletta first. So Cotoletta is an Italian form of breaded cutlet made from veal. So people have seen similar dishes. It's funny because this dish actually originated in France. It was called a cutlet de veau frite, and it was created by a chef called Joseph Menon in 1735. Côtelette means little rib in France, and that refers to the rib that remains attached to the meat during and after the cooking. So the French brought this over to Italy and Austria during the Napoleonic Wars, and then the dish actually became popular in Italy and took the name Cotelette, révolution française, and then Cotoletta. Cotoletta alla Milanese is a fried veal breaded cutlet, and it's some people say it's similar to Wiener schnitzel, but I think that would be insulting to the Milanese because it is different in a number of ways. First of all, Cotoletta is cooked in the bone, whereas veal schnitzel is not. Traditionally, Cotoletta is made or is fried with clarified butter. And clarified butter is basically a process where they remove the water and the milk solids from whole butter. So it's a more concentrated butter with a richer flavor. It lasts longer in the refrigerator, and the other important point is that it has a higher smoke point for cooking. So again, I guess you get a higher temperature to bread it. Cotoletta only uses veal loin, whereas Viennese schnitzel or Wiener schnitzel uses different cuts from veal and pork. Cotoletta is served relatively thick, whereas Viennese schnitzel is thinner, and Cotoletta Milanese is fried in butter, whereas Viennese cutlet is fried in lard. Cotoletta is going to be thicker than Wiener schnitzel, but you'll see that sometimes now people will vary that, and they'll actually pound down the Cotoletta so that it becomes kind of a more big shape, and it also looks like a elephant's ear. And so that is not the traditional, but it's a little bit more pounded down, and I won't even try to pronounce it in Italian, but I'll have it in the comment section what it's called, but it's basically called the elephant's ear. Cotoletta was also taken from this region, and kind of it's got variations from different regions. So if you look at the Emilia Romagna region, it's called Cotoletta alla Bolognese, and that has melted Parmesan cheese and pieces of prosciutto put over top the fried veal cutlet. So really, Cotoletta alla Milanese is very simple. It's just the cutlet itself. In Sicily, there's another version called Cotoletta alla Palermitana, which is named after Palermo, and it's a little different because the veal is brushed with olive oil, and then it is baked and grilled instead of being fried. And breadcrumbs used for the batter is mixed with parsley and pecorino cheese, and unlike the Milanese Cotoletta, the Sicilian version does not have eggs in its breading. It's also been taken over to South America, to Argentina, Peru, and Uruguay, and in those places it's called Milanesa, and Milanesa is kind of has a preparation of tomato and cheese on it, and then also you'll see it in the United States, veal parmigiana. And that's really a hybrid of Cotoletta. You also hear sometimes Cotoletta and also Costaletta. And I think the difference is Costaletta means little rib. So technically I think if the rib is attached to the meat, so if you have a bone in, that is called a Costaletta. If you've cut out the bone, then it's called Cotoletta. What's a perfect Cotoletta alla Milanese? So it actually may be a little bit still pink inside, and that's acceptable. It's almost like just barely cooked. There should be a hint of butter. There should be double breading, and the actually breading has to be cooked in a pan, not a fryer, and it has to be breaded on the spot instead of breaded beforehand. The traditional Cotoletta alla Milanese is simple, just a breaded cutlet and also some lemon slice to kind of have some acidity on it to give it a flavor. You'll see it right now, again, it might be beaten down so it's a little bit flatter and it looks like an elephant's ear. That's kind of a variation. Likewise, you might see it with some cherry tomatoes and some kind of greens on top. Again, that's something that happened in the 80s, but that is a variation. So the traditionalists will say, well, that's kind of not kind of the right way to do that. The other thing is that I guess it kind of doesn't make sense if you got this great breaded cutlet that's fried cutlet that's so crispy, and then you kind of water it down or put kind of liquid on it with lemon. I guess the whole idea is to give it a little bit of acidity, but you can do the same thing by getting a local kind of champagne or sparkling called Franciacorta, and that will give you the acidity. So I think that's the preferable choice, to have Franciacorta with your veal or Cotoletta de Milanese, alla Milanese. Now let's talk about risotto. So everyone knows about risotto, but risotto alla Milanese is a very, very simple dish. It should be a little runny, velvety, and also the color, because of the saffron, should be a very bright color, almost a bright yellow. So how it's made: onion is browned with butter and oil, and then the rice is toasted with I guess white wine, and then cooked al dente in beef stock. And then towards the end of the process, it is made creamy by butter and more butter and Parmesan cheese, and then saffron is added. And that's the key component, because that's what gives this rice the golden color. The origin of risotto alla Milanese is quite interesting. So it seems that it was kind of created in 1574 by an experiment of an eccentric painter, or this could be just myth or whatever, but this is how it seems like it was created. So he wanted to impress his guests, and he decided to add a little color to his risotto by putting a pinch of saffron in there, and that added some yellow, shading to this. And he knew this because he used saffron in his paintings to give a little shade in his paintings. And they think that a lot of times, probably they did this because at that time, gold was supposed to have, in the 1500s, they didn't know better, but they thought gold would have a magical influence on the heart. So whether it's medicinal or whether it's just you'd be happy, that's how they thought. And that's how the tradition of risotto alla Milanese came about. So I hope that this is an interesting history. And now I'm going to go off to Milan and hopefully have a couple of these dishes. I'll try and do some shorts if I find some good places to go, and hope you'll enjoy those. Again, I really thank my viewers and subscribers for staying with me, and I'll come on camera once in a while, and hopefully you'll keep on sticking with me, and we'll continue to grow this channel. Until next time, happy eating.